Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Whenever you're seeing this, wherever you're seeing this, welcome to the Masterpiece Lounge with Chris Natha. So come on in and join us today. Happy Monday. I'm going to give you a second to join us. And today is a very special day because we have a very special guest today. And so I want to make sure that she has your undivided attention, that you have your notepad and pen out because she's about to drop some gems. And she is just, oh my goodness, she's incredible. She is a coach. She is a shero, honestly. I just met her, but I am so motivated. I am empowered just by the work that she does in the world and with women. And so I can't wait for you guys to hear from her yourself, to meet her, to find out more about the work that she does, to find more about how she can transform your life and your business. And so as women, I want to make sure that we connect with other incredible women, that we also bring you incredible interviews that can truly help push your life forward. And so grab your notebooks, grab your pens as you come into the room. Make sure you say hello so that we can engage, and that we can definitely shout you out. So go ahead and say hello, join the chat, invite a friend. We are about to have a really, really good time. All right, so we're going to get started, and I'm going to bring in our very, very special guest today. And her name is Dr. Pam, Dr. Pamela Gurley, but we call her Dr. Pam, okay? Because we're cool like that. All right, guys, so let's bring in Dr. Pam. Hello, Dr. Pam.
Hi, how are you?
I am amazing. I am so excited to talk to you. I've been reading about you, so I've been kind of cyber stalking just a little bit, nothing too weird, but and just learning about how incredible you are. I just feel like, just reading about your journey and just the work that you do, and I can get a sense of your mindset, the way that you think, and I just absolutely love it. And I know that the ladies viewing today is going to love it as well. And so I wanted to get some time with you today. So thank you for making the time. I am so excited.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure, really.
Absolutely. And for those of us that don't know, or who are just kind of finding out about you, tell us, who is Dr. Pam?
Oh, wow. Dr. Pam is a very busy woman. Sometimes too busy for my own good, but I always feel like, too much is given, too much is expected. I'm a firm believer in that saying, but so I'm a
Absolutely.
speaker, an author. I am a content writer. Oh man, I am a CEO of 2 companies, and I still work for the federal government. So I'm a budget, I'm an agency budget officer as well. So I'm also a great mom, a phenomenal, a mom to many. I don't biologically have kids, but I have a ton that, I have raised. Because I have 5 nieces, 5 nephews. So I'm like the bomb auntie. I'm a daughter, I'm a significant other, companion, I'm just living for me. I live for me and
That
everything
is
I'm
so
supposed to do. So
amazing.
yeah, avid
I love
traveler,
it.
culture lover, foodie.
Yes. Yes, for the foodies.
Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah, so that's just really me. I'm in a nutshell. It's so hard when I'm talking about me because I do so much, but
Mhm.
a lot of what I do is just not about me. It's one of those selfless. It's just a selfless being. I do a lot of self-care, but I'm really selfless because I feel like the things and the gems that I've learned along the way, can help someone else.
That is awesome. And one of the things I love that you said is that you're multidimensional. And I love that as women, we don't have to be one thing. We get to
Hmm.
be a mom to many. We get to be a significant other. We get to be um, a help and make an impact in our community, and we get to travel the world and enjoy ourselves. We get to do all of these things. So many times women feel like they have to choose, and I'm like, why can't we be
Yeah.
more than one thing? So that's awesome. That is awesome.
Oh
I
yeah.
did read that you have been to 40 out of the 50 states. Is that right? Or
Yes.
wow,
Yeah.
I love that. That is amazing. I love to travel, but I have not hit 40 states yet. And
Yeah.
if you can, because I know it's hard, it's probably really hard. But do you have like a top three and your destinations that are your favorite that you can think about? I know there's so many, but
You know, yeah, I love San Diego. That's one. There's
Mhm.
another little area I don't really know the name of in Northern California, just about 2 hours from San Francisco area, off the beach. There's no internet. I had a friend that got married there, and it was like, I don't know, where did you find this place? But it was so serene and just so beautiful. And you really do have that sense of peace while you're there. And let's see, a third one, really anywhere my family is. That's how
Oh,
I
that's
feel. I
awesome.
enjoy my time with family. So it's never really always about the place, it's about the people that you can share it with.
I love it. That is amazing. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I've never been to California, so maybe one day I will go and I'll keep that in mind because that sounds beautiful. That's awesome. I wanted
Yeah.
to ask you because I know how important it is to you to live a life without regrets, being fully yourself. And so I wanted to know how important would you say it is for us as women to operate in our most authentic space? And also, how do we do that?
Whew. So for me, it's easier. I think when we aren't living transparently and we're not living in our truth, we're spending more energy trying to be somebody we're not, or trying to pacify other people
Oh,
outside of us. But when we operate in our own aura, in our own space, and in our own joy, it's not about being selfish. It's actually about being selfless, because the more honest and open you can be with yourself, the more real positive energy that you can pour out. Life is just not made to be perfect. But the other thing that I operate with is the mindset that a bad moment does not dictate having a bad day. And we need to do that mind shift when we start talking to ourselves about what we need. And we don't always make all the right decisions, but you cannot allow those decisions to drive your life and everything you do. I think we live from one day to the next, being able to make the changes that we want to have, and that the changes that we want to see. So we have to first be influential in our own lives about how we move forward, and look less in the rear view at our life to say, oh, I should not have made that decision. So what? You made that decision. Life is made to be lived. Unless you're Jesus and want to be perfect, you were born to experience life. And in order to know joy, you have to know, hurt. In order to experience happiness and know what that really means, you're going to have to experience sadness. So we have to be mindful of the way that we shape our decisions, the way that we shape our lives, and how we move beyond those things that hurt us. I did a recent masterclass about how to live unapologetically. And the one thing that we have to get beyond is looking for apologies to heal us. Apologies don't heal. And because somebody can apologize and it doesn't take away the hurt. It doesn't take away the disappointment, but we can take ownership of those things and say, you know what, I don't need an apology to move forward. I need to learn how to heal and recognize that everybody is human. People are going to make mistakes, and we grow from those mistakes. And if we can't forgive them ourselves, then we never really move forward. We never really heal. And that's something that we need to get to in order to live, authentically and transparently, because we own our feelings. If somebody apologized, you can say, no, you know what, you can apologize, but that does nothing for me. So I really can't forgive you until I forgive myself and realize, can I really get over it?
that is so amazing, Dr. Pam. I can agree that I feel like as women, we sometimes we're looking for either validation or
Mhm.
closure in the external world from a
Yes.
person, a situation, when I think we should start looking more within ourselves, just like you
Hmm.
just stated so
Yes.
beautifully. And so I definitely agree that a lot of people are stuck waiting for someone to say I'm sorry, and they may never get the apology.
Hmm.
But that's so unfair to not live your life because of that. And so I think that's so amazing that you said that. Oh, that's so good. So awesome.
Yeah,
So
it's
yes.
about energy. It really, you're right. It is about
Hmm.
that the energy that we give out and the energy that we want around us. And if we hold ourselves down by pouring into the wrong energy. So we're so busy trying to, like you say, get validated. And instead of looking in and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna be okay. If you look at your life and everything that you did, it's like, dang, I made it through it. And
Yes.
but yet I'm still holding on to it. It's like let that go. Let that go so that
Absolutely.
you can refocus and repurpose that energy for good and greatness.
Absolutely. So, ladies, forgive yourselves. Give yourself permission to live. To live. I heard a quote from an author named Tim Story, and he said something that really captured my attention. He said, "Be alive in your life," and I was like, "Whoa, whoa." How powerful is that? So many of us are living, we're not alive. We're just going through
Yes.
the motion with, carrying unforgiveness and
Yes.
regret and shame. And it's like, you made a mistake. Let's go forward. You are not your mistake. You're bigger than that. You're greater than that. And so it's such a powerful message that you're sharing with women, because we need to hear it constantly. I think we are so hard on ourselves. So it's
Yeah.
so important that we're kind to ourselves. So thank you so much for that. That was really awesome. I want to also know, like, I'm thinking about changing the narrative, so to speak, in our lives. For some of us, we may not like what we see. We may not like who we are today. We may not speak well to ourselves, right? How do we go about changing the narrative? I think a lot of times some of us are so connected to a story or a moment in
Mhm.
time, like this happened, and it's real, it's valid, it's true. However, we don't have to necessarily live there. And so, in someone, I guess, feeling stuck, the changing the narrative, what would you say would be like the first thing to start to like change the story of our life?
Acceptance.
Mm.
I think until we accept where we are, can we even understand what needs to be changed? Because you have a
Wow.
right to just flip the page and start a new chapter anytime you want. But if you can't accept and take responsibility, you're never going to let those things go. And so the first step is accepting everything about you. Accept how you look, accept how, where you are. If you're not where you are, you have an opportunity to change those things. But you have to accept it first and stop making excuses for it. That's the thing. We make all these excuses of why we can't. Oh, I'm gonna make people mad. I'm not gonna be happy. You know what? Sometimes taking that risk, you don't know what's on the other side. And sometimes what's on the other side of fear is greatness. So we don't want to accept because sometimes we don't want to accept because it's so ugly and it's so dark and it's so painful. We don't want to deal with it. But deal with it, accept it. In order to move forward, you have to deal with your mess. Get out of somebody else's backyard, get in your own, clean that up, and just accept that that's not who you are. If and no matter what people say about who you are, should not define who you are. So we need to, that's that narrative in our minds that we need to
Yes.
start shifting and making those change to. But you can't change a narrative until you accept where your narrative is right at this moment. And that's why I'm telling you, when I wrote my book, ooh, I laid it out there. I laid out that I was toxic, that I entered in all these relationships, without a healthy mindset. And I did it for other people and I lived for other people. And I didn't protect my heart, so, I don't care how progressive you are in your life where, because I excelled academically, I excelled professionally. But man, I was so dirty and toxic on the inside about my personal life and how to really deal with me that I did not like me. And so no matter what achievement I had, it wasn't enough because I did not like me. And I was honest with myself about that, and I found healing in that honesty and that acceptance. And this is why I tell people now, if you want to change, accept that if you were messy, if you were drama filled, if you were all, accept that, and then start your chapter new, because then you will know what you want to change about yourself. Because if you don't accept that, you continue to make the same decisions over and over and over that got you into thinking where you are now.
That is amazing. Acceptance. I do think sometimes we can definitely live in denial. So that was really, really good.
It's an accountability of your life. That's really what it
Yes.
is. Acceptance is accountability. You're accountable for all the decisions that you make in your life. You can't blame anybody else, because you had the opportunity to say no. You had the opportunity to walk away. You had the opportunity to cut ties for things that wasn't serving your purpose well. You have all of these opportunities to shape how you want your life to be.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. That's wonderful because when we accept, we can truly start to make the shift. A lot of times we're stuck
Yeah.
because we don't want to be uncomfortable. And a lot of times we may be control freaks. I know that I like to always know what's going to happen. And so sometimes I wasted some time because I was like, well, what's going to happen when I make this decision? And sometimes you just have to go. You have to
Mm-hmm.
go for it. So,
So
ladies,
let me
go
ask,
for it.
but let me ask you a
Yes.
question. How many times
Mm-hmm.
have you laid out exactly? Because I'm a control freak too. How many
Mm-hmm.
times have you laid out exactly how you want things to go, and then God say, nope. I know
Many
everything you laid
times.
out, but so so your plan and in the world and or the universes or whatever you worship or represent, as you're watching this, that plan is something totally different.
Yes, many times I've done that. And I laugh at myself now because I'm like, this won't even happen like this anyway. Um,
Yeah.
so what am I worried about? And I had to learn that even in your faith journey with God, whether you like to control things or you're a planner, you have to put that aside in your faith journey. Like that doesn't work.
Right. Yeah, tell me about it. It definitely does. And you have to be open, to walk through doors that, you might be scared to walk through. But I will also tell you this, a lot of times me, if I feel nervous about it, I know I should do it.
I love it.
If I feel uncomfortable about it, that's a no. So my gut, I listen to that spirit that just talks to me. I'm gonna share something. I shock people, because a lot of times before I do any kind of media, I sometimes feel so sick of nervousness, like I can throw up. And it always goes well. And when things
Hmm.
that I feel like, I've turned down things and opportunities because something just didn't feel right. Literally, it made me so uncomfortable, and it's worked out in my favor. So I listen to that.
That
That
is
nervous is
awesome.
good. And so risk, you take your risk based on your spirit. Listen to that. Be like, you know what? It's a lot of work, but something in my spirit is moving me to do it, because purpose. And I wrote about this in a anthology before. There is a lot of pain that comes in your purpose, and I'm not talking physical pain. I'm talking emotional. I'm talking mental. I'm talking about
Hmm.
being exhausted. I'm talking about wanting to give up. I'm talking about all of those things that lead us to our purpose, because unless you just get lucky and win the lottery, everything you do takes work. Everything.
Dr. Pam, you are preaching this morning. That is absolutely true. The scarier, the better, because I believe in being stretched. And
Oh
with
yeah.
that being said, you being so many things, including a businesswoman, can you talk just a little bit about who you have to become along the journey? I believe that, especially a business, you know, you become a different version of yourself. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, you know what? And I'm so glad you asked that, because right now I'm in a self-reflection phase of my life. And it's just, I mean, for personal and for business, and how I'm looking to move forward. But I'm going to tell you something that I recognize with myself, and I've had to say this to a few people. I am an extraordinary woman. And I'm finally accepting that I am an extraordinary woman. I don't love ordinary. I don't give ordinary. So I don't want ordinary. And so for me, that's what I'm looking at in my life as I'm shaping. And the reason I can be all of these things is because I'm extraordinary. I don't set limitations on what I can and cannot do. If I feel like I'm going to try it, I'm going to try it. If I fail the first time, guess what? I'm going to try it again, because it's in my nature to just say, you know what? I'm not perfect at this. But if it's meant for you, the more you try it, the better you get at it. And so while we're afraid of being stretched or afraid of failing, I don't carry that mindset. So I'm able to put myself on a calendar, one, so that I'm able to achieve all of the things that I desire for my life. And I'm also open to letting go if I feel like, oh, this is just not going to serve me well. This is not going to fit into the master plan. I know I thought I wanted this, but now if I want it, I can't do it this way, because that's what failure teaches you. Failure teaches you a different way that you need to look at things, because when God gives you something and you try to find a shortcut, it's going to result in failure, because there's no shortcut to success. There's no shortcuts to reaching your purpose. There is no shortcut to obtaining your goals for the long term. And I mean, like right now on October 1, I'm really proud that one of my companies will be 3 years old. And I'm like,
Congratulations.
because I really, when I started it, I just took it day by day, and I've had to make changes. And, there are things that happen in business that I've had to learn to overcome, but I didn't give up. And so I can celebrate 3 years, and it's getting busier and busier. And so now I'm like, okay, now I need to start making decisions. And this is where I'm doing reflections about how I want to move forward with everything. So when people are looking at stretching and wonder how can she balance out all of these things, I just do, because I want it. I want it for me, but I'm also open to getting rid of things if I feel like it's now becoming mentally taxing, or it's exhausting me in a way where I can't be happy doing it. I really believe in loving what you do. That's most important. And as long as I love what I do, I'll keep it on my plate. If not, and I just start to feel like, you know what, I'm drained. And I'm going to let that go. And that goes for relationships. That goes for family ships. I cut off family. I don't care. When you start disturbing my peace, you got to go. But it's making sure that the energy that I bring in is intentional. And it's intentional because I need an intentional life. I'm an intentional thinker. I'm an intentional speaker. And I live by example. I'm not trying to fake like, oh God, I don't have my emotional meltdown moments. They're moments. They're not my day. They're moments. And you earn a right to be there. So I'm honest about the emotions. And I'm honest about what I put out to the world, and I'm honest about what I bring in. And so people need to do that shift when they want to, be on the opposite side of fear. Greatness is a lot of work. But I'm very happy and pleased that I've learned that, because acceptance.
That is beautiful. That is amazing. That's incredible. Well, I just want to say that I agree with you, and I also think that you are extraordinary. So I just want to go ahead and put that in there. So I co-sign. And I just love that you live your life the way you need to live it. And because I'm telling you, like,
there's a difference between having a life and living
beautiful. Oh man. That's a word right there.
Yeah, you can't just, exist. I don't want to just exist. People weren't born to just exist. You were born to experience.
Absolutely.
And that is living. Experiencing is living. If you're just, I'm not going to do anything, I don't want to venture out, I don't want anything new, no new friends, then you're not looking to grow. And I've said it when I've done public speaking. If you look at your life and you've not grown, check your circle. Check your circle of friends. And that will tell you everything you need to know about yourself.
I love that. It's so important to be stretched. And ladies, I just want to encourage you to, like Dr. Pam said, no more excuses. It's
Yes.
time to grow up in ourselves and to really make a decision. What's the life I want to live? Do I want to be alive in my life? Do I want to make a difference? Do I want to be in the will of God for myself? Do I like, what do I want to do? You were called and you were born just not to be walking aimlessly on the earth. That's not why you're here. There is
Yeah.
purpose for you. And so please get clear, get plugged in, and do the work. And some of the work isn't fun work, but it's necessary work, and it is so worth it. It's so worth it. So make the investment in yourself. I know we
Mhm.
pour out so much, we give so much to so many people, we take care and nurture so many people, but it's so imperative that we do that for ourselves. So thank you for that, Dr. Pam. That was so enlightening. And women, it's okay to like wear many hats again. Like I said, like also have a business. Sometimes, women will say, well, I'm a mother and so I can't. Now, if you don't want to, that's fine. But if you do desire to do so,
Mhm.
we want to let you know that there are examples out here that it can be done. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be perfect, but as long as you are constantly growing, learning, perfecting your craft, allowing God to lead you, you will be okay. You just got to stick with it and you will start to see the fruit. And so thank you for that, Dr. Pam. And I know that in your businesses, you do several things. I know that you help your clients grow their business. And I believe you also do some content writing. What does the content writing look like? Is that for websites, marketing material, sales copies? Like, what kind of content writing can we get from you if we need some?
So the bulk of what I do is I write blogs. Yeah, I'm a good
Okay.
blogger. I write a lot of blogs. Uh, kind of, I mean, just last week I did 15, and a week before that I did like 35.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of work, and so that's a lot of that because I have regular businesses that I write for consistently, and then I write website content. I write at least once a month. I do business plans because they're so intensive that I try not to stretch myself thin because the amount
Mhm.
of work that goes into that. I do at least one of those a month, and that really is helping the foundation because people who operate without a business plan, sometimes that's when you're just aimlessly walking with no plan for your business. And you want to be able to elevator pitch, so a business plan should be very solid. And so I provide lots of resources and lots of tools before I even sit down with you to write your business plan. I need to know how invested you are up here before you
Mhm.
put it here. So like I have a business plan questionnaire. I give business startup checklists. I give business plan checklists. And I try to, I'm a visionary. That's one of the best things is that I'm a visionary so that when I'm hearing people talk about their business and they want to be like someone else's, I don't have a cookie cutter model for my business. I want to treat your business just as unique as you are. So I'm not going to just pull something off the website and be like, oh, here's a template that I have. Everybody's that I have will look differently because that's just the nature of what I do. And so other than that, oh gosh, I think that's pretty much all the content that I do write that I'll have time to
Mhm.
write. I do some editing and proofreading and rewrites for some companies who already have blogs written, and then they just have me come in and do edits and rewrites, which still can be labor intensive. But that's pretty much it for Clark and Hill Enterprise. Yeah, keeps me
Okay.
busy.
Oh, for sure. I
Keeps me very
definitely
busy.
I definitely could understand. I'm a writer myself, and I know that writing is no small feat. So I
Yeah.
definitely understand. And so that is awesome. So, ladies, there's no excuse. So you can't say that you don't know how to write content. You can't say that you don't know how to put a business plan together because Dr. Pam does that. So you have help, you have resources. You do not have to know how to do everything. You can hire
Hmm.
someone to help you. So Dr. Pam
That's
can do it.
you know what? Believe it or not, a lot of big businesses, you know, their blog pages are written by other people.
Mm-hmm.
A great deal of them. I know this because I write for a lot of businesses and
Right.
I write a lot of content and I'm looking, at different ones like, wow, okay, and there's no one set. area that I write. I do write better in business blogs because that's what I really do. But I mean, I've written on breast augmentation. I've written on what is it, the marijuana stuff that's on the uprise. I've written on
Mm-hmm.
so many other things. And so I mean, I have a doctorate. I know how to research. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
else.
Right.
I know how to read. And so the important part of when you do blog is that, you know, I think one of my pluses is that I can have an opinion on everything. You know, that's one of the things that when you go for post educational academics or academia, you learn to think differently. You learn to be able to challenge things that you read. You learn to agree, but if you want to agree, why? If you want to disagree, why? And so I advocate for literacy for this purpose. And that's what makes me an author, that I want to put stuff out there to connect people, to their vision, connect people to their goals. And that's why I write blogs much the same way.
That is awesome. Dr. Pam, that is amazing. We do have some comments that I do want to share.
Okay.
We have Yvette. She says, I'm learning to accept me, and now I am making healthy changes, although it brings some resistance. So thanks for sharing, Dr. Pam. So Yvette says, thank you to you. And Yvette, we know that it can be hard, and there's like a push and pull thing going, but you keep going. You keep going. So thank you for that, Yvette. Let's see. We have another comment. Hey, Jamel. It says, greatness is a lot of work. Yes, definitely. Definitely it is. I would agree. All right. And we have one more from Yvette. And she says, thank you to Dr. Pam for sharing. See, she is encouraged. And I know there's so many others that are encouraged just as she is. I am. And this is like such an incredible way to start our week. Dr. Pam, please tell us, how can we get in touch with you, stay connected, hire you? Like, what do we need to do?
Okay, so depending on if you want any content written, you can go to my website at www.clarkandhillenterprise with no S on the end.com, and there's a piece of a form that you can fill out, and it'll come right to my assistant, and make sure that you connect with me, or you can hit me in the DM on Facebook. It's Clark and Hill Enterprise has its own Facebook page. I do try to check that and check the comments and anything, or you can reach out, or it's Clark and Hill Enterprise, clarkandhillenterprise.com. And you can always reach out via DM. I'm terrible about that, Facebook messages, but you can also reach out at admin@clarkandhillenterprise.com.
Awesome.
For the email. And so for my personal brand, for any mentoring, or just to connect with me for media wise, it's IAmDrPGurley.com. www. You can also connect with me on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at IAmDrPGurley. I am Dr. P. Gurley. And then, of course, I have a book. I can plug my book really quick.
Yes.
I am not a stereotype. I am HER. And you want to talk about being delivered and introspective, about learning how to heal and grow and changing that narrative for your life. As a Black woman, I wrote it from a Black woman's perspective of just being caught into the stereotype of what the world wants me to be. And I'm letting people know that I am not that. And so that book you can get on Amazon or Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Apple iBooks on the ebook version. And of course, you can get it from my website at www.IamDrPGurley.com/shop. So yes,
awesome.
I'm always around.
Yes, guys, get connected with Dr. Pam. Stay connected with Dr. Pam. And if you need any of her services, do not hesitate to reach out. She is extraordinary.
And I have
Dr.
a conference next year that I'm co-hosting called Girlfriend Heal, the Unapologetic Transformation Transformation Proclamation to Heal, to Wow conference next year. And so that's Girlfriend Heal, the Unapologetic Transformation Proclamation to Wow, which is Win Over Wine. That conference is going to be in 6 cities next year. And it is about this right here. It's learning how to heal and getting great tools, but just coming together as a community of women to change the narrative for our lives.
That is so good. We cannot wait to just hear more about it when all of the information's hopefully it'll still be okay and we can get together in real life next year and hug
Oh,
each other.
we're
And
making provisions for that. Enough space
awesome.
where there's a lot more social media, and it's made to be intimate. It's not made for
Okay,
large
great.
gatherings. Even though it's a conference, it's going to be very elite because the purpose is to heal and
Yes.
to, to promote healing and put good information out there about the right ways to do it. My co-host on my podcast, Cortina Peters, who's the girlfriend therapist, she and I will be together, because on one hand she heals, and then I'm going to teach you how to be unapologetic. So
I know
it's a
that's
merging
right.
of brains.
Sounds like an incredible team. So we can't wait to hear more about it. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Pam. Guys, make sure you get connected with Dr. Pam. We're seeing the love in the comments. And Dr. Pam, it has been
Oh,
beyond a pleasure. I've had an incredible time today, and you have been the greatest start to my week. I am so excited. But thank you for just making time to share with us today, helping us to really live life on purpose. And so, Dr. Pam, we are so grateful. And guys, make sure you meet me right here, same place, same time, on the Masterpiece Lounge with Chris Natha on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. And so have an incredible day, and we will see you soon.
thank you for having me. Bye.
Absolutely.